Welcome, welcome. Tell us your name and where you're from.
Tequila here. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
That's good.
Okay, we're going to get started. We're going to ask everyone to go ahead and mute their phones. I want to tell you thank you for making your time to come out or come over into the Zoom call today. My name is Martha Dodd, and I am an executive director for MWR Financial. And I want to introduce to you someone that I look really up to. He's a fine gentleman here, born here in Atlanta, Georgia. Can you believe it, a native? He's made a ton of money in this industry. He's helped a lot of people, including me, and he knows 100% of this information. I want you to know that he has become financially savvy, especially since he's joined MWR Financial. He's an awesome mentor and business partner of mine. So let me introduce to you Richard Hardon. Give us a round of applause.
Is the hearing impaired applause, right? Oh, round of applause. I got it. Martha, I want to thank you for that fantastic introduction, and more so for giving me the initial call to action to have and host this session today, knowing it's always a special day in everyone's life. So before I talk about myself or the content I want to cover, I want to make sure that you guys know who you had before you hosting this call, Ms. Martha Dodd. She is literally one of the top speakers in the state of Georgia. She's a published author, and she is on the front line. She's an IT professional, spending her days contributing to society with her work at the CDC, that's the Centers for Disease Control. So before I talk about my topic for this evening, and if you're taking notes, just write down financial rebirth. Financial rebirth. That's what I'm going to talk about today. And it's one of those things that's been stirring in my spirit across the day. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share. And anytime someone gets before you to start sharing information about making changes, it's important to know who you're hearing from. So by way of background, as Martha said, my name's Richard Hardon, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Always did the things that they said to do. I went to school, got good grades. As a matter of fact, I got great grades. Point of fact, I didn't get any grade below 93 after the 8th grade. So all through school, they called me all the things that you call the person that makes those grades at your school. Nerd, bookworm, geek. I heard all of them. But that last day, and from then on, they called me valedictorian, star student, was able to hop out into college life at Duke University with a scholarship, full academic scholarship, and I double majored. I was electrical engineering and computer science. So on both sides, focused on technology, and happened to hit the technology industry at just the right time. Everybody say just the right time.
Just the right time.
You gotta understand, timing when it comes to business and money is everything. And by doing that, I jumped out. I think my first job, I made $36,000 a year, but 3 years later, I was six figures, and I've been six-figure earner ever since. But I had a point of frustration, meaning for all the education I had, you got to think about how much math you have to take to get a degree in computer science and electrical engineering, and how much interaction with technology you have to have on a daily basis to be paid six figures, because you know if they're paying you six figures, they're getting six figures times two from you, right? And the frustration that I had was that no matter how much money I made, it seemed like my bank account balance was always the same. Can anybody relate? Meaning that, you know, we had some money in the bank, had put some things aside for retirement, but when I was a broke college student and when I was a six-figure earner, I was just broke on a higher broke level. Can anybody relate? So I started looking for answers specifically to the question of how do I get to the place where I no longer have to work for money, where money's at work for me. Because as we go through this process of financial rebirth and the rebirth that I'm going through personally right now, I can't take credit for all the things that I've learned, but I can take credit for being willing to listen to information, act on the information that was shared with me, and based on making those changes changed my life. And I got so excited about the changes that I was making, about the things that I was learning, that I committed myself to make sure to share with everybody I know. So over the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to go through understanding a couple of things, where we are in our economy today, because right now, the times that we're living in, we've never been here before. I can't remember the last time it was Easter Sunday and I wasn't sitting in church for the first time that year. Yeah, but here we are. So concept, let me know when you can see my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. That is this one. Bam. Matter of fact, I'll share my whole screen and just watch as we go through this process. So again, thinking through.
One thing before you start, can we ask everyone to mute their mics, please? Thank you.
All right, thank you for that, Martha. I appreciate it. All right, so first, let's talk about where we are today, the current state of affairs. Right now, the world that we live in, because of social distancing, because so many people are suddenly quarantined from home, and there's so much uncertainty in the marketplace, people in these kinds of times of uncertainty have to start thinking about things differently. In point of fact, if you look at where we are in our economy, everyone in all of 50 states has a stay-at-home order. It's not that they're, policing you and locking you in your house, but specifically they've asked for the protection of everyone and everyone's health. Stay at home. If you're well, stay home. If you're sick, stay home so that you don't go out and infect other people. And what I've learned is that in my circle of friends and in my sphere of influence, a very small percentage of people have actually had a physical infection, but just about 100% of Americans are experiencing a psychological and financial infection, meaning not being sure and the impacts that normally create the cycle of life that keeps people in difficult situations. All of those things are happening right now at an unprecedented rate. Now you take that to the next level and just understand that the financial challenges, when I speak, and take note of this, when we talk about the process, the mindset, and the importance of income shifting, there's always 4 challenges that we talk about: inflation, taxes, debt, and big business. Now, in a normal economy, that cycle is what keeps the average person spinning their wheels going from check to check, meaning because the value of the dollar goes down about 4% per year, it means that prices are always going up, and those are controlled by business owners. At the same time, taxes take the first third of the average working American's income, and beyond that, in order to overcome the challenge of taxes together with inflation, average person puts their whole lifestyle on debt, meaning where they live, the way they get to work, and the things that they buy when the money from work runs out come from debt. And then you add to that big business has a normal cycle of cash extraction. All of those things get magnified by the environment that we're in now, and it's not by what's happening now. We're actually experiencing, for those of you that don't know, it's the first time ever that we're in a deflated economy where the price of gas went down by 50%. Now, gas is one of those commodities that's downward price resilient. As soon as this emergency is over, as soon as people are free to get back out and go on these vacations and trips, it's going to spike again. Inflation's coming back. Just trust and believe that that's there. And at the same time, those stimulus checks that people are getting now, starting to get excited about, well, where did the money come from? It came from the government, and they're going to get it back through taxes. And even those debts, the credit card balances, that average person that's out there, that's been working, that's been check to check, now that they have to skip a check because they're out of PTO, well, their emergency fund for most people, sad to say, is credit card. Those credit card balances are going to increase for most people because they say that the average person doesn't have $500 saved to take care of an emergency. And then last but not least, the traditional safe haven, the investment that was available to me and most of the people that worked the way that I did were the traditional 401k. Well, it turns out that the 401k performance is tied to big business. We've had continuous upward growth in our economy since 2008, and for the first time, we found ourselves in a place where, hang on, let me mute that one out. Who is that?
I'm gonna have to mute my phone.
Hang on just for a second. All right. So thinking about the 4 challenges and how now in the economy we're in, that's magnified, we are in the business of providing solutions. And the solution is one called income shifting. There are 3 components to income shifting. And the first part of it is building a home-based business. I say to everyone that lives anywhere, you need a home-based business. Why? Number 1, low startup costs. Number 2, low overhead. Number 3, lower taxes. And number 4, unlimited income. There's no limit to how much money you can make in a business that you control and dictate the terms on how often you go to work and how big a business that you build. And at the same time, this lends itself to social distancing because everyone's at home. Now, the second thing is providing solutions that use virtual technology and social media. In our new normal, people are going to have to figure out a new way to work. My second career is as a paid professional speaker, meaning that in some days I could make as much money for one keynote address as I would for my regular paycheck at my job. Now, in all honesty, that's a huge business, huge opportunity. I'm sure it'll come back. But right now, the reality is every conference, every professional speaker you know is at home too. They've had to drop out of conferences. Conferences are canceling left and right, and those fat paychecks have to be replaced by something. And virtual technology, leverage of social media platforms like Facebook, Zoom that we're on right now. It's not that the economy is bad for everybody. It's just those that aren't in a position to leverage technology to build their businesses and continue to grow their income. And the third thing we do is just understanding the importance of financial education, of making wealth real, and specifically 2 of my mentors. Hopefully I'll get a chance to introduce you to both of them this weekend. But between our mentor, Mr. Brian Bean, the founder of the Extra Digit Movement, 20 years in providing education and success systems to individuals, and Brian House, our partner, the CEO of Making Wealth Real Financial, they leverage that technology to educate people on how to provide a specialized education to individuals looking to shift their income financially. So think about a process where your only job is exposing and sharing the information about what's possible for people in shifting their income. Through the extra digit movement, meaning we add an extra digit to your income on the left side, we educate people about how to maximize that process, and our partners, the professionals with Making Wealth Real, execute on the process of building and delivering that shift in income. Now, we put this all together with the idea that the average person has only 2 financial objectives. It's current and future lifestyle. As a matter of fact, if you're taking notes, write that down. 2 objectives: current lifestyle and future lifestyle. Your labor is designed to take care of your current lifestyle. And your investments must take care of your future lifestyle, because traditional retirement vehicles like pension plans and Social Security just aren't the same that they were a generation ago. And whatever level of laborer you are right now, whatever level of working income you have right now, the limit on retirement isn't age, it's how soon you can get to the place where your investments make more money than you do working. At that point, you're financially free. Does that make sense? So we provide a Financial Edge membership to help the average person overcome the 3 challenges. And let me let me switch screens right here and talk to you from my website. Let's see. Can everybody see my website now? So with the Financial Edge membership, it comes with 4 components to address the 4 challenges that the average person faces. Meaning the only way to, there's something in America they say that in America, the only 2 things that are unavoidable are death and taxes. But there are strategies that allow average income earners to at least minimize their taxes through the creation of a home-based business, where with our Money Max program, people are in a position to first correctly and accurately fill out their W-4, which dictates how much money is removed from their check to pay taxes on a daily and monthly basis, but at the same time to be in a position to increase their cash flow, which is the beginning. Our first strategy for income shifting is cash flow management. And Martha Dodd, who is our host this evening, was telling me an incredible story about her experience with Money Max. Martha, could you come off mute for a minute and share your story with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, I had experienced on my job where they had cut our pay significantly. And so I said I didn't know how to handle that because, you know, your expenses keep coming. And so the quick solution for me was to go ahead and adjust my W-4. And all I had to do was submit my pay stubs, 2 of my latest pay stubs.
Mm-hmm.
And once I've got my W-4 corrected and submitted it to HR,
Mm-hmm.
they actually, I had $400 coming into my account or on my paycheck each month. So now I'm able to take care of my personal expenses with a little bit left over to handle whatever other, to things that I would like to enjoy and benefit from.
Now, let me ask you a question. That $400, that was, because that was your money, right? It is, you made an
That was
adjustment.
my money.
You corrected it, and they paid you more of your money instead of giving it to the government to loan for free, correct?
That's correct.
And now, did you have to beg for a promotion or sell anything?
No, I didn't have to beg for no promotion.
Did you have to work any more hours?
No more hours. Same hours.
So every month on a monthly basis, you increase your cash flow by $400 and nothing, no additional. It was simple.
It was just simple. Just upload your information and they fill out the form and everything and you turn it into HR and voila, your paycheck changes.
Now, here's the amazing thing. Now that you've got that different paycheck, we start a process of what helped me and helped all of our partners in that income shift. So the things that you do, first you shift your mind, then you shift your money, and then you shift your income, because now with that additional money, we can start to participate in our next 2 strategies, Credit Max and Equity Max. Now, Credit Max is our credit restoration strategy. And it's one of those things that the average person really doesn't know. They don't take advantage in nearly the way that they could of knowing what impacts their credit score and the things that they can do, or especially with the help of professionals, to restore, enhance, and monitor credit. And actually somebody on the line that I love has just a great story about just playing around with Credit Max. And that's my brother, Chuck. Chuck, are you on the line?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Tell me about
Awesome. Well, I actually started the Credit Max program just to follow the system. I wasn't necessarily in the market to buy anything new. I just purchased my home already. But just by putting my information in, I was already in the 700 rank. I was already in the 700s with my credit score. But as of today, well, as of probably towards the beginning of March, they got my credit score up to 805. Now I'm currently at 815, and it continues to rise. So it jumped about 60 points just by putting my information in the system. So I didn't have to do anything. Once I upload it, I just let the experts do the work. And that's what I love about the program, is that I don't have to do it or figure it out. I'll allow them to come up with the game plan and work that process for me.
Man, that is fantastic. And the amazing, you said 815, say it again.
815. That's 815 credit score right now. 815.
People that don't know.
I like to say that because I think it makes me look cuter. So when I
it's ironic. I was thinking about this because one thing that most people don't know is the number of things that are actually impacted by your credit. Credit is actually a hiring criteria right now. HR professionals now have a risk index where they look at your credit score as a representation of how much of a person that does what they say they'll do you are. Your insurance companies, they base your insurance rates on your credit score. So credit score is important. It's important to have a good one and to do everything that you can do to maintain it. But then the next thing is to get to the point where you don't need debt. We have a debt elimination strategy called Equity Max. Now, if you're in debt right now, let me tell you something. It's not entirely your fault. We are trained systematically in the United States to take on debt in order to finance lifestyle because of the impact that taxes and inflation have on our dollars. But if you stay in debt after this conversation, it may be your fault a little bit. Because here's what happens with Equity Max. I talked about my career in technology, the amount of time that I spend in enterprise software working to help companies make transformation. But when I started looking at my personal situation, I'm going to be really transparent. I'm going to show you the debt that I was in. As a matter of fact, right now, between the mortgages, we have 3 homes, 2 rentals, one that's the home that we live in, $630,000 in debt. A lot of that is student loans. So between my bold, beautiful, brilliant, and expensive children, we spent another $200,000 on college. Throw in, but over time, we've already reduced this by $70,000. Meaning we paid off $67,000 in credit card last year. But the plan, the power of a plan with what Equity Max did, it said, here's your balance now. Just taking the additional dollars that you got from your Money Max transformation and the income that you generate in business, this is what you'll pay on a monthly basis. Instead of being in debt for 24 years until May 2044. Everybody see what that says? May 2044, 24 more years in debt. We'll be completely debt-free by November 2028. That's 8 years from now. 3 homes paid off, all the student loans gone, and now taking that same money and starting to invest it, debt-free millionaire by 2035, 15 years from now. That's the beginning of making wealth real. It's getting to the point where, number one, you don't know anybody anything, but number two, your money's making more money than you. Make sense? Now, as we talk about our process, I do want to make sure that we're clear. This is still something where people ask, well, what is the business? What is the message that we're trying to teach? It's exactly what we share today, is that in our business, we get paid for teaching people the things they need to know to change their lives financially. But by helping them do those things, the company is willing to pay us for the referral for individuals that get ready to get started. Oh, by the way, let me say, I know people are looking for the gotcha, like, how much is it going to cost to get all of this stuff? It's $228. $228 upfront one time and $119 a month. But now, if for $228 one time, that paid you is, as little as $400 extra just from taking advantage of one strategy, or a couple of $1,000 like it's done for me, how much would you be willing to invest? If it's $119 to get $400, how many of you would take that deal? Show of hands, put your hand up. All day, every day. It's a simple transaction. And the thing that makes it more powerful is thinking about that process of going from just investing and being your only source of income to now being in a position to build a team where they can help you through the process. Now, I want to let you know up front, as you look at what I'm doing, we got started in this business about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, around the holidays, while being busy with everything I do, all the work I do for the companies I work with, my part-time career as a speaker, the work that I volunteer for with Toastmasters, all of those things, on the side, I built a small team. And by building that team, let's say you like this information and you just shared it with 3 people, myself, Martha Dodd, and Chuck Hardon. It's safe to say that we get started with you, yes? Because we're already in. 3 of us get started. The company starts doing something I've never seen in any business or industry. They start building a daily guarantee. At level 1, it was $5 a day. I'm now at level 2, which is $20 a day, right? 20 times 3600 a month. It's extra income. I was already working, but now this is non-wage income. And the more impressive thing than how much money you make at your job is how much money you make without doing the work. And you can see right here, I'm 83% to level 3, which will be $30 a day. That's $900 a month on a very small team. Like right now, you can see my organization size, 15 total, right? But the company also provides car bonuses, mortgage bonuses. They pay us 10 different ways, in so many ways that in fact, I don't have time to get into every detail of how the compensation works, but I do have time to make sure that we know that this is a special time, that with our company right now, the founders of the company understand the reality of the average American and where we are in the world right now, meaning that there's one company that's focused on helping people get to the place where they need to be financially, and they are providing a stimulus to everybody where they are taking on an investment in every individual that gets started between now and midnight tonight, where $99 of the cost they're going to credit to you as a stimulus credit, one-time credit, but to put you in a place where you can have a long-term daily stimulus check. Because it was 5 o'clock, 30 minutes ago, and just getting that check from MWR Financial that said you qualified for a daily guarantee of $20 today, and it comes again tomorrow at 5, and again tomorrow at 5. All of those things are happening right now. So as we get started, we are having a series of events through the rest of the day. The next one actually is starting in 30 minutes. So if you're excited about what you're seeing right now, start thinking about how to get people to see what we're doing. And I had one last partner on the call that I wanted to ask about their Wealth Max success. Yasmin, are you there? Let's see, did I see her unmuted? Well, let me share the last aspect of the Financial Edge membership. It's called Wealth Max, where you get access to financial advisors that give you the opportunity to have vehicles for financial investment beyond what you would normally find at your normal stockbroker. Meaning, I learned about investing primarily through my 401k. This is the biggest investment that I made other than our rental properties. And every paycheck, I made sure I paid off the top. I maxed out my 401k every year for all 25 of the years that I've been working. And I have a significant amount of money in my 401k, but do you know that the more money you have in the stock market, the more money you lost last week when suddenly big business started having issues with creating revenue? When Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL, the NCAA closed the doors on some significant revenue, stock market took a huge hit. Now, will it come back? Depends on what time you need to retire. But with Wealth Max, we found out about concepts like a private reserve account where you become your own bank, where over time you grow your income. And if income is your outcome, and it is, because that's the definition of wealth, it's a number of days forward. How many days forward can you live without ever working again? With Wealth Max, the private reserve account allows me to have my money grow when the stock market grows, but never lose. And that's the number one secret of investing for wealth, is don't lose money. So I know I'm right at my 30-minute mark, and I did want to end here. There's a lot more that I can discuss, but let me clarify some things right now. Anytime that I've shared this information with any group of people, it's always 3 responses to the information I've shared. Person number 3 says, for whatever reason, this isn't for them. And, you know, I understand it. I know that everything isn't for everybody. There's an enormous amount of money in being a neurosurgeon, but not all of us went out to medical school, yes? So if this isn't for you, you know, thank the person that invited you, because I said, invite people that you care about, that are ready, willing, and able to make a change, but not just the average person. Invite the leaders, those people that have that ability to move people and understand the importance of timing and business. And as I think about it, there's only ever 3 reasons I've heard someone say it's not for them. Number 1, they didn't understand it. Number 2, they didn't believe it. And number 3, person doesn't have the money. And if any of those are the reasons that you're thinking, let me handle those for you, and we'll move on. If you don't understand it, just understand this was a quick conversation. But if you understand the concept that the richest people in the world pay the least in taxes, take, for example, Amazon and Donald Trump, and you understand that they understand and have experts working for them, the rest of it we can learn along the way. So if you don't understand it, I didn't understand most of the things I needed to do for my job the first day, but I did stick around long enough to get paid. Number 2, if you don't believe it, just believe that the things that are happening in our economy are unbelievable. But at the same time, if you check through history, there's always been cash in chaos. We are in chaotic times right now, and the greatest opportunities come from the seed of difficulty. Just believe that somebody is making money right now, and I believe that you deserve to be that person. And number 1, if for whatever reason you don't have the money, don't worry about the money. Let's get the education. It turns out that the universe has a way of bringing together the exact asset that you need at the time that you need it, if you would learn and move in the right direction. Person number 2 says, I have some questions. I like what I see. I'm not sure whether the Financial Edge membership is for me, or if this is the time for me to jump in and start a business, start building an income that doesn't have anything to do with my ability to get out of the house. Doesn't have anything to do with how they feel about me. So if you're uncertain about what move you should make, just get back with the person that talked with you, and let's figure out which of those is you and which thing you should do right now. And if you do decide that all you want to do is just fix your finances, do it. Do it now before the economy makes this worse. We can even give you a discount. It's only $79 to get started if you only want to be a Financial Edge member, not have access to the car payments and mortgage bonuses and daily guaranteed pay. But the number 1 person, oh, they're just like I am. When they saw it, they knew that not only was this what I've been looking for, it's what I've been praying for. And now's the time for me to have that financial rebirth, for me to walk away from who I have been and walk out into this new world of wealth that we've created and find and teach other people how to do the same thing. So if you're a number 1, make sure to text a person back that invited you here today. Let them know I'm in. Ask them to give you access to the set of events that we have going over the next 6 to 8 hours. How many days? 7 hours. To take advantage of this financial stimulus weekend. And with that, I'm going to call this a call. It has been my plum pleasing pleasure, as well as my privilege, to share the information with you. Make sure you get back to the person that invited you to today's presentation. Let them know you're 3, this isn't for you. Number 2, you're not certain where you fit in. You have some questions. Number 1, you're ready to rock and roll. And I look forward to seeing you walking the beaches of the world once we get out of the house, or at least see you at the bank. Good night, everybody.